Good evening, Yeshua Shalom Bayit. Very good. Now, you see, somebody's up, Baruch Hashem. Somebody's up. Okay, we're here. Perek Revi'i, 4th chapter, in Pirkey Avot. We're in Mishnah Yud Aleph, 11. Page Zayin. You got it? Everybody's on it? Page Zayin. Okay. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer. Rabbi Eliezer says, Ha'oseh mitzvah achat, koneh lo praklit echad. Somebody who is making even one mitzvah. Well, Ramoshe, come sit with us for a few minutes is better. Come, your wife is going to enjoy more. Come. I know, but come, 5 minutes with us is better than there. Come. Anyway, let's go. So now we have like this. That one mitzvah you do actually gives you a defender. Each time you do a mitzvah, you create a defender. Who does transgressing a sin, what does he do? Konelo kategorika. He gets a persecutor. So every now, what some people think, something has to be major. No, there are 530,000 seconds a year. 30 seconds, yeah, right? How many is it? Or 3 million seconds, something like that. Right, 3 million seconds a year, 530 minutes, 530,000 minutes a year. Okay, so now 3 million seconds a year. That's how many melachim you create the whole day. The whole year, 365 days period, from Rosh Hashanah till 29th of Elul, till the second before the next Rosh Hashanah, you created over 3 million melachim, angels. The only question is now, is it a good angel or it's a bad angel? You hear? There is a flip. There is no part of an angel, there's no angel in the middle. The Jewish law does not believe in the business of staying part of it. There's no such thing as, I'm in the middle of the road and I'm fine with it. There's no such thing, Rabbi, I'm okay. Rabbi, I'm okay. You know, Rabbi? Yeah, excuse me, come there. Rabbi, I'm okay. You know, you heard those people talk? Chas v'shalom. There is no okay. Question is, it's either we're there or we're to the left. There's no middle. Now, so he's telling you, every second is what decides your faith. Every second. If you have a justification why you're busy what you're doing, no problem. You got a person goes to play soccer. That's it. You can't play soccer anymore? Of course you could. If he's playing it in order to rejuvenate his body, in order to have not to become fat schlub like me, okay, that's a different story. Because fat people, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I actually think that now we're in such a danger that the Goyim want to kill us, they want to starve us. And Baruch Hashem, they starved me for 48 days, no food, in the hospital, and I survived, Baruch Hashem. And so I think all my friends that died, they didn't have so much excess fat like me. 48 days, no food, by the way. I was in the hospital. Yes. You end up in the American hospital where they depopulating it's a motto today. It's a good thing, depopulating the people. So we have more air for the grandchildren to breathe. You heard that, no? Kamala Harris, 2.5 weeks ago, the vice president of the United States, she revealed the whole secret openly.
She said that openly.
Openly, she says we're creating electrical cars, and we're saving we're saving the environment, and we're depopulating the world in order for your grandchildren to have more air.
Those exact words.
That's right. Not a word was edited. Okay, so now good. Okay, so now let's go. So everything you do. So again, throughout your life, imagine yourself you live 120 years. How many malachim you're creating? According to this cheshbon, you're creating roughly 400 million malachim that are actually will give an account for every second you created, for every second of your life. Standing above Hashem, you're going to say it's a big deal. What is that? That's a lot. That's a lot. By the way, and every time there's a baby created, before the baby is created, every time that before the baby is created, there's a creation of over 300 million malachim. Minimum. It's a whole concept of the whole Baruch Hashem and Rabeinu cheshbon ones. In one night in America, to create babies, they create 14. They're using about 14 billion malachim. Everybody going. If you calculate, let's say 50 billion people, you calculate 15 million people. It's about 14 billion malachim are being created every second. Now, this is nothing. If the world, let's say if the world has 300 billion, let's say the world, according to this guy's number, it's 8 billion people, which is not true. You already know. I already hold. It's over 100 billion people in the world, but let's say it's 8 billion. Let's that second. Every second is 8 billion malachim being created. It's either l'tovah or either l'ra'ah. It's either good malachim or bad malachim. You have no choice. It's not a matter of our choice. It's what it is. That's what the rabbi is telling you. Every you do mitzvah, one mitzvah, you created a defender. You did an Avera, you created a prosecutor. So it also, according to Rambam, it depends we'll see how Rabbi Yonah explains this. Teshuvah, now, so you're going to get into despair. You're going to say, wait a minute, Rabbi, I did Teshuvah at the age of 25 or 40. Now, so you want to tell me for the past, from the age of Bar Mitzvah to 40 is how many years? Shalom? 27 years times 3 million malachim. I created already how many malachim? What? I created over 82 million bad malachim. What's going to be with me? So the rabbi is telling you right up front, don't despair. Teshuvah o maasim tovim kitris bifnei hapuranut. They are the defenders. The thing that the teshuvah that a person does, it actually could overturn the bad things that we do. How do we do teshuvah? What a prophet. Let's see, Rabbi Yonah is going to explain us. Rabbi Yochanan has Rabbi Yochanan, the shoemaker, he used to say, any gathering that it's for the purpose of to hail Hashem's name, it's gonna be always strong and have with help. And chas v'shalom, if the gathering is, let's say even you go play soccer, you're doing it Hashem Shamayim. Why am I playing soccer? You know what? I'm doing it for Hashem. Why? Because I want my body to be strong. You know what? There was a guy. It was not a joke, but it's a story, but it's a sad story. One guy, they come in, and the guy every night he used to drink 5, 6, 7, 10 cups a night. So the wife got upset with him already. Well, how long can we take this guy already? She went to the rabbi. Complained to the rabbi. The rabbi summoned him. Everybody's in olden days were obviously respecting the rabbis. Even today, Baruch Hashem, some places do. So now he goes to the rabbi. He says, "What's going on, Rabbi? What can I help you with?" He says, "Your wife complaining. You're drinking almost 10 not shots, 10 jugs of wine every night. What's going on with you? What's with you?" He says to the rabbi. He says, "Rabbi, I'm sorry, but you maybe my wife. I tried to explain my wife, but she doesn't hear. Maybe you could hear me. Tell her. So what's the story?" He says, when I was young, when I was 5 years old, our town was surrounded by pogrom. The Russians came in, the Kazakhs. The Kazakhs came in, and they took my very fragile father, skinny, fragile father, a Jew. What the Jew does? The Jew did a little bit farming. He learned Torah, and that's it. He was not so, not so strong. So what did they do? This Kazakhs in Machshema v'Zichram, they make him drink beer. After 5th jug of beer, he died. So I made a swear that when these Kazakhs come in, I'm going to make Kiddush Hashem. I'm going to show them that I'm strong. That I'm going to drink, and I'll drink as much as they drink, and I'll be stronger than them. So I'm drinking, preparing myself. Yeah. Maybe a diluted idea. It's not such obviously a great idea that he drinks. And about that, he just. Listen, he doesn't do other avera. That was the biggest avera. He was drinking, but you see that they thought his avera. In reality, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take that as a maaseh tov. Because why is he doing it? For the Shem Shamayim. In his own mind, he thought he's doing it for Shem Shamayim. So that when the Kazakhs will come, his father died instantly, and he's going to be withholding, and he's going to be stronger. And Bezat Hashem, that's what he said. And he said also, any gathering that's not the Shem Shamayim, that's just to waste time, Chas v'Shalom, is going to fall apart. Now, let's go back to Rabeinu Yonah, page Zion. Go back one page, please. All the way in the bottom. Let's see what Rabeinu Yonah tells us all about this. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, ha'oseh mitzvah achat koneh lo pratchlit echad. If you do a mitzvah, you create a defender. Zeh hameritz tov ha'adam livnei hamelech. What's going to happen? This mitzvah is going to stand in front of Hashem and constantly berate Hashem. This guy did me. Look. Sometimes those poor people, you give them $1, $2, $10. You give a guy $100. You got the best customer. All day he's walking around you. See this person? He loves me. Always praising and all. So that's the same thing. You ever created an angel? That angel is so good. Constantly he's saying Hashem, this guy is good. This guy non-stop. No G Hashem. But however, if somebody does avera, konelo kategorichat, he gets a prosecutor. Ze hamelitz al adam ra'a levnei hamelech. Same thing. The Zohar tells us we do averot. When we do averot, chas v'shalom, we shouldn't. But if we do, it's like we're creating little ants. You ever saw ants biting? Rav Moshe tells us here. Rav Moshe Kohen, he tells us one of his relatives was killed by ants. biting him to kill him to death. Shem Rahim. Answers of danger. So the same thing when we do Averot, Chas V'Shalom, this Bet Melachim, the Zohar says they come to Hashem and they bite him constantly. They bite him, Chas V'Shalom. So that's the same thing. They're going to be constantly berating this person made me. Hashem, this person made me. Teshuvah, so the Rabbi explains. Teshuvah Maasim Tovim Ki Tris Lifnei HaPuranut. When a person does teshuvah, they are protecting teshuvah. Sh'adam Noseh Al Ma'asav Hara'im. When a person does a repentance on his bad deeds, או מעשיו הטובים שעשה מתחילתו, הרי אלו מגינין עליו כתריס לפני הפורענות. Or the good deeds that he did. So I mean, again, so two things. The good deeds that we do, now there's a bad battle. There's two battles, right? One angel good, one angel bad. They're constantly battling in front of you, Hashem, to say, is this a good person or not a good person? But that's lechatchila. But what about the da'bira, that persecutor that he created? So that persecutor that he created, he actually could overturn. There's only one way that the person could overturn a bad persecutor. People don't talk about it, but it should be said constantly. You know anybody saying the same thing? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm sorry, I made you pain. When you hurt somebody that you love, you apologize. Not you don't tell them, oh, I'm sorry, I bumped into you. When you love somebody, say, oh my goodness, why I bump into you? It hurts you a lot, right? Because you're doing it out of love. You bump your wife, if you bump your friend, it's different apologies, right? So the same way, if a person you love, you apologize like you're hurting that you hurt somebody you love, and that's how we do tshuva, which is reverts the bad deed that we did. We created a bad angel, right? So now this bad angel could become a good angel because otherwise the angels that don't disappear. So what happens? This angel is black, all dressed in black. He's like a persecutor. What happens is now that you do tshuva from love, you actually overturned him, changed his clothing. And he goes to the white and he gets dressed up, and now he's protecting you. He's protecting you against the next black angel that you created. Don't forget those 3 million seconds every day. 3 million seconds every day. But the one good thing is if you sleep for 6 hours, 7 hours, and you say Kriyat Shema Lamitah, you say Shema Yisrael before you go to sleep, that means your Shema Yisrael, your sleeping is for Hashem. So those 6-7 hours are actually creating the angel for you. They're not so strong. They're not generals that are going to be standing with the spears attacking the black angels, because you didn't do much, but there's still something. It's like, you ever play chess? Anybody play chess? Mm-hmm. And the chess board, they put the pawns. They're nothing. Can't do nothing. They can't jump. You know what? Why they don't know why they put the pawns there. So that the big guys could be protected more.
They're the front line.
Instead of the front line. This is your 6 hours sleep is your front line. Angels are sitting there until the war is. In the middle of the war, you made a tshuva, Hashem, please. The black angel was about to kill the other angels. So it's good. Why? Because you realized you did something wrong, and you say to Hashem, I'm sorry, I hurt you. I hurt you, Hashem. I shouldn't have done it. Okay, let's just finish Rabeinu Yonah. Rabbi Yochanan, you're there? We're on page Chet. Next page. Right in the bottom, right before we're going to finish, and Hashem. Let's go. Rabbi Yochanan הסנדלר אומר, כל כנסייה שהיא לשם שמיים, סופה להתקיים. What does that mean? That any gathering which is done לשם שמיים for the purpose of Hashem's name, to exalt His name, לתורה ולמעשים טובים נקראת כנסייה שהיא לשם שמיים. That if it's the purpose of this gathering is to make sure to prolong the Torah, right, or to make sure that the Torah continues, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help them out. But if this gathering is that is not for the purpose of the Shem Shamayim, it's for the purposes I said. So sometimes the community board meets, right? Community board rabbis, they meet or whatever, and so they're trying to decide the fate of the nation. If over there everything is the Shem Shamayim, if over there, like for instance, Chafetz Chaim once was sitting, and they in 1931, or a few years before Chafetz Chaim died, so the organizations that are trying to help the Jewish people, Avot Israel was involved, whatever it is, they gathered all the people there, and Chafetz Chaim was sitting there, and got up the one president from the organization, and he said the following words. He said, they were discussing should they close the yeshivas if the work breaks down or not. So he says, rabbis, I could have all your yeshivas shut down right now if I want to. It was like something out of holiness that he said. The Chafetz Chaim said, if I had a knife, I'll shecht you right now. So be quiet. You can't talk ever again in these meetings. If you talk, I never come again. Something like that. And he shut him down. Chas v'shalom. You see from the Chafetz Chaim that the meaning is to to make the Torah exalted, not to diminish. What was he? He was my Avot. I could do. I decided. We have this today also. Don't worry. Today we have in all those organizations, there are Rashaim over there who are sitting, that they're all about the noses are like this, call themselves rabbis, and they, I decided. Who do you think you are? If it's L'Shem Shamayim, what you're doing, okay, good. But if you're doing it for your honor, to exalt yourself, that everybody should be like this idiot that shut down. There's actually an idiot person, one person who shut down all the yeshivas. He was in charge. What did he do? Amazing. In October of 2020, he puts out a video. What's the video says? I don't understand why the yeshivas are breaking the governor's laws. They're not closing down the yeshivas anymore. They already stopped closing the yeshivas in October. And for some reason, the Jewish community, Jewish people are not dying anymore. You hear? A Jewish rabbi who, by the way, signed the paper. His name is signed on all the contracts, on all the papers that Agudas Israel published, like all the newspapers. Everybody around America shut down the yeshivas. And this Amaretz, this evil person, on the radio, on television, publicly says, as he says, it's oxymoron. He says, all of our yeshivas are not listening to the government, and they didn't listen to the governor anymore. They're not closing down, they opened, and what did they do? They actually had schools underground, in people's houses. They started having schools in people's private houses. The classes. In 2020, October, yes, most schools did not, because the Quobo, he sent National Guard to stop the yeshivas. But this guy, this Rasha, who closed down all the yeshivas in April of 2020, in October 20, he didn't understand why are the Jewish people are not dying from COVID anymore. Rasha, you don't understand? When there is Torah, there's protection. The Jewish nation only gets hurt if there's no Torah. And Bezrat Hashem should protect us and save us from this such evil people. Amen.